Hi, this is Mrs. Allen, and in this video we will be looking at angle relationships. Example 1. Identify angle pairs. Name an angle pair that satisfies the condition. Part A. Two obtuse vertical angles. So we want to look for two angles that are first vertical, that means across from each other, and they also have to be obtuse, so they have to be greater than 90 degrees. So if we look at our picture, angle DFB and angle AFE are vertical angles. They each have measures greater than 90 degrees, so they are also obtuse. Question B. Two acute adjacent angles. So to be adjacent, the angles need to be right beside each other, sharing a vertex and a side, and to be acute, they must be less than 90 degrees. So if we look at our picture here, there are three acute angles shown in the diagram, but only two of them are adjacent, angle CFB and angle AFB. Okay, let's look at example number 2, angle measure. The measure of the supplement of an angle is 60 less than 3 times the measure of the complement of the angle. Find the measure of the angle. So first let's think about the question here. We want to let x represent the measure of the angle that we don't know. So then 180 minus x is the measure of the supplement. 90 minus x is the measure of its complement. So with this information we can kind of write an equation. So let's think about what it's asking. First it's asking the supplement of the angle. So we know that the supplement of an angle would be 180 minus x, and then it says is, so we're going to have equal to 60 less than 3 times the complement. We already said that the complement could be represented by 90 minus x, and we want to have 3 times the complement, so we would do 3 times 90 minus x. And it also says 60 less than that, so we need to subtract 60. So now we just have an equation that we could solve for x. So the first thing we would want to do is distribute. So we would distribute the 3 to the 90 and to the negative x. The next thing we want to do is combine like terms on the right side, the 270 and the negative 60. So now we would have 180 minus x equals 210 minus 3x. Now we could add 3x to both sides, giving us 180 plus 2x equals 210. Now I could subtract 180 from both sides. Then I would have 2x equals 30. To get the 2 off of the x, since it's being times, I would need to divide both sides by 2. X equals 15. So the measure of the angle is 15. Example 3, perpendicular lines. Find x and y so that line DG and line BE are perpendicular. So let's look at our picture. We're going to have to work 2 separate problems, one solving for x and one solving for y. Since it told us that line DG and BE are perpendicular, that means that they are making right angles. So then I will know how to set up my equation. If I want to solve for x, since angle DFE equals 90 degrees and DG is perpendicular to BE, angle DFB would also have to equal 90 degrees. So I could set up an equation, 2x plus 4x equals 90. Combine like terms, I get 6x equals 90. Divide both sides by 6, I get x equals 15. So my x is 15. Now I can do the same thing with the y. Since angle DFE equals 90 and DG and BE were perpendicular, angle EFG would also have to equal 90. So I could say 5y plus 20 equals 90. To solve, I would subtract 20 from both sides, leaving me with 5y equals 70. Divide both sides by 5, y equals 14. Okay, let's look at example 4, interpret figures. Determine whether each statement can be assumed from the figure. So here's question A. Angle BFC and angle AFG are complementary. So let's look at our picture. To be complementary, they both would have to equal 90 degrees when added together. So if we look at our picture, no, they are congruent, but they do not tell us what their measures are. So we do not know their exact measurement, so we would not know if they would add up to 90 degrees. Part B. Angle DFA and angle AFG are a linear pair. Well, to be a linear pair, they would have to form a straight line and would be equaling 180 degrees. So, yes, they are adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays, and they would add up to 180 degrees, forming a straight line together. Part C. Angle DFC and angle BFC are complementary. So to be complementary, they need to add up to 90 degrees together. So if we look at our picture, yes, there is a right angle symbol showing that the adjacent angles form a right angle, so they would be adding up to 90 degrees. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you better understand angle relationships.